So at this point, we've covered really all the basics of using React with TypeScript. Things like useState, you've got to provide a type. It's a generic. Same for useRef. Props, you need to set prop types. But otherwise, it's just plain old React and React with hooks. I think we'll wrap up in this video by just adding in a quantity input as well. So instead of just a product name, you can also enter a quantity. So that's going to be a second input. And this one's going to be a number input. And let's just start with that. Take a look at it here. Okay. And let's set a min of 0, just so you can't have a negative amount, right, of whatever you're trying to buy. Okay. So that will give us our number, our quantity. So that's looking good. The next thing we need to do is set up another ref so we can access the value out of this input. So let's do basically the same thing. We have an input ref, but now we should really call this one text input ref, or how about just product input ref? And then we just have to change this name here and everywhere else that we are using that, and here as well. Product input ref. Okay, so now we can make our second ref, which will be the quantity ref or input ref equals useRef, and it's the same type, right? Just another input element. I mean, technically it's a different type of input, but it's fine. It's an HTML input element, and the initial value will be null. And then we're going to add that on to this input ref equals the quantity input ref. And then when you submit the form, we prevent the default. And then let's go with quantity equals quantity input ref dot current dot value. Alrighty, so that is going to give us the quantity from the form, and then we're going to pass that through to onAddItem. The problem is onAddItem is not expecting quantity, right? It's not expecting a second parameter. So we're going to set that up and say product name will be a string and quantity will be a number. And then in here, we can just say quantity will be whatever quantity is that's passed in. And then we do have to make sure that onAddItem, on the other side of things, the prop inside of our shopping list form is set up with the right function signature. So item will be a string and quantity should be a number. Okay, are we there yet? No, because quantity right here is actually a string. When we get the value from a number input, it still is actually a string. So what do I have an error here? Oh, it's the same thing. Argument of type, yep. If I close that down though, if I have something in here like 2, that value is the string 2. It is not the number 2. So then I could parse int, for example, right? Parse int of that value. And now we'll get a quantity that is a number, and we are adding that quantity in when we're setting state. Let's see if that works. So I need eggs. I need 12 eggs. There we go. I need to get chicken breasts, and I need 4. Awesome. And then we could reset this back. Maybe the default should be 1 if we wanted it to go back to something. So just right here, same type of deal, quantity input ref dot current dot value equals 1. So now you submit something, whatever you set that quantity to, and it goes back to 1. That's just the safe bet that you need 1 of the thing that you're adding. All right. So just a bit more practice. In this case, we're using useRef. I actually prefer normally to use useState to set up forms in React. I just wanted to show both because we're using useState up here. This way you got to see more than one hook. But normally I honestly would use useState to set up this form.